Trent, you got a veteran dog like Kip. Do you do any tuning up or anything extra with the dog, or do you kind of feel like he'll just be ready for the next season?
No, we'll definitely do some tune-ups. Usually it's called a tune-up for a reason because it shouldn't take very much. It should just be some reminders, and they enjoy that work anyway. So, and it's something to do, get them exercise.
So do you consider it a tune-up too, though? Just a little
because
come when called? And...
Yeah, because if you just go out the very first time, like say like right now, we did the woodcock banding and the spring training, and then we did a lot of like just camping and stuff for ourselves. Like I haven't done a whole lot of like training right now. We don't have a puppy. Our youngest is 3, and he did very well through all the spring training. And
I would call him a veteran now at 3,
yeah,
right?
So I haven't been like hammering on training every day right now. So if I were to go out and a bird goes up and Kip takes 2 steps or something, like I'd be like, about it, I'm not going to tolerate that. So then we'll just take a couple steps back, and reintroduce it, and it'll only take 1 or 2 times per step,
right.
We'll be on our way. Yeah. But then also that gets them in shape too, right? If you're in a field and you're working and you're running them, it's all part of the summertime stuff with an older dog, get them ready. Doesn't take much, but yeah, there's definitely a little bit.
I'll skip Heather because it would be the same answer probably, right?
Yeah,
because you don't have a veteran.
I agree. You run them, I run them and walk them and everything. And there's just little things where you get lax in the summer and you're like, okay,
you're
that's
not coming
enough of that.
You're not coming when I call you.
Or like the heel gets a little sloppy.
Yeah, okay, that's
or something
a good
like
point.
that when you're trying to control them when somebody else comes around and you're like, no more.
We're gonna nip
Ted this. With the HRC stuff, which you do, that's a lot of off season. That's not.
Yeah, we train for.
So you're kind of always tuning up, kind of.
But
maybe.
Yeah, no. But when hunting season is approaching, I start putting more decoys out.
More distraction.
We actually do it at one of the clubs where we'll get like, instead of just doing like hunt test scenarios, we'll put 4 dogs on stands.
Okay.
And then like shoot birds off with tons of decoys and work on steadiness work because like everybody said, like dogs will compete. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're
setting them up for stuff that's going to be more than they're going to deal with.
Well, yeah. Or different scenarios. It's crazy. When you run competitions all the time, you go and train with your buddies and you're like, man, my dog's steady. He's great. And then you put him in a truck with 300 people at a training grounds and you're like, what is wrong with you? They're trying to dig out of the kennel. They're act like they don't know what heel is. So
act like they haven't been in the end zone before.
Yeah. They get to game day and they're like, I want to go, So, I mean,
tuning up is a normal.
Yeah, definitely there's tune up.
Scott, definitely what about you?
Yeah, just like they said, I reinforce whoa, do some dummy drills, whistle commands, stuff like that. I just want to remind them.
What is a dummy drill?
So for retrieving work.
Just
throwing plastic dummy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I might just I might have the e-collar on that a little bit. Like if I hit the whistle, if that dog don't turn on the dime, I'll be ready and I'll just give him a little nick.
Right. And that would be off-season stuff you're talking.
Yeah. If they don't stop, almost stand on their head when I say whoa, they're going to get a nick.
Mm-hmm. Will your dogs typically whoa verbally?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't rely on the collar. The collar's there for like backup.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I don't run an electric collar on my pointer.
Do you have a tracking collar on it?
I have a tracker. I don't have an e-collar for her,
And what is a nick for a pointing dog?
Momentary.
No, but I'm saying like if you're running a
Intensity,
Garmin,
intensity.
like what are you hitting her with? A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4?
I think I got a 2 medium.
2 medium off season, but if it's becoming a problem in a field full of pheasants in South Dakota or whatever, you might have to turn it up. It's all situational, but 2 low, 2 medium.
Yeah, because in the retriever.
Well, I'm the lazy one in the crowd. I don't do any tune-up.
It can.
I literally don't. I guess if I was going to the NAVDA grounds, I take them for a little. I kind of look at a tune-up as like, just let them know we're going to be hunting later in the year. I'm on the lazy. Maybe it's because I'm not. Well, I am the oldest here, but I'm not by too far. I've never been real big on like whatever my hunting dog is, and I accept it. It seems like I get the same performance out of them the next year. I don't. I'm kind of. I would say I'm kind of lazy on
You're
that.
not doing anything. That's why.
Well, and I don't, as Rusty would say, I ain't doing dick.
IADD.
All right. So this is an actual question that somebody wrote in. Now we're going to switch hats. Now you're all pro trainers. Somebody's writing you who bought a dog from you, or you were going to train their dog. And this person asks, why do advanced training? If they run on wild birds, shouldn't they learn to be a great bird dog from the birds? Because that old saying, wild birds teach dogs to be bird dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So why do advanced training?
So like advanced training would be steady to wing, shot, and fall, right?
Steady wing, shot, and fall, solid come when called,
Yeah.
turn in the field.
We're not talking find a bird.
Right,
point
right. That's going to be what
until
they
you
do.
get up there.
Right.
That should be natural. A point. Like you don't teach the point.
Right.
So advanced is like all stuff you have to teach the dog. Like it doesn't know it needs to stand
Doesn't know to
through.
turn.
It doesn't know when to turn on a whistle. Like you got to teach it to turn on a whistle, or you got to teach it to stand through gunfire. It doesn't know that stuff. It knows how to smell a bird, how to work that scent, how close it can get to that bird with that scent. If it can move, like Scott says, that's what he wants to see. Like once it establishes that point, is the scent leaving? Can I take a couple steps, or is it super full and do I need to stand here? That's what the wild birds are teaching your dog.
Yeah.
The wild birds aren't teaching it to stand through gunfire or to sit on a stand and wait till everybody's done shooting the wad of ducks. It's not the birds aren't teaching your dogs that. So you have to go to a high level of training if you want that. And then, like Justin always says, you can train it to here and you can let it slip to here during the hunting season. And then next year, you can bring it right back.
Right.
So you can always train it and they always remember that stuff, and you can let it slide a little bit and you can pick that back up really fairly easy.
Right. Heather, are you gonna let the birds teach your dog, or are you gonna teach your dog?
In my opinion, just a simple analogy, the wild birds are like the gasoline that gets the motor running, and then you have to steer it.
Okay.
You
So
know,
you're gonna put a steering wheel?
It's a steering wheel. It's just control.
Blinkers, steering wheel, brake
Brakes.
lights.
Right.
Brake lights.
Yeah.
How about you, Ted?
I mean, yeah, the wild bird thing. I mean, obviously, I don't have pointers, but yeah, it's obedience just to keep the dog safe.
Right.
You have to do the advanced training just for everything other than the bird hunting. They know to go find the bird. That's what they want to do.
And even on a hunt, there's always everything else besides.
Oh
the
yeah,
birds.
there's a road, there's barbed wire fence,
Yeah.
there's whatever. Like you have to do, and just like with my dogs, like I'll take them to an art fair with my wife and not have them on a leash, like just to have a social dog. If you take your dog everywhere, like that advanced training just makes them a better companion.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Scott? Advanced training.
I think it's important. I mean, to me, the reason I do all that stuff is because I have to live with a dog. I mean, I want to be able to live with a dog and feel relaxed with a dog. There's things I want it to do. It just makes a more enjoyable hunt. So I hunt quiet. I don't want to talk to my dog. I never say a word when I hunt, ever. I hunt. That dog better be turning, working, or hitting cover. I don't want to talk to my dog. If I got to talk to my dog, that's a problem.
You did something wrong or you kept the wrong dog.
Yeah.
I
might let the dog know if I'm going to take a hard 90 or something like that. But or if I want the dog to come in, for some reason I got a specific command I give, and that dog should come in on a string, no matter what it's doing.
Right. Like you said, with even your hounds.
Yeah.
Come in off a cat.
And wild birds aren't teaching any of that.
No.
Right.
None of it.
No.
Well, this was an actual question, but you could see where somebody would do that. Like, I know a person.
In North Dakota?
Could be. Who I don't, and I probably shouldn't say this, I don't think, he lives in a world full of birds.
Good.
So his dogs just get contacts. They kind of learn They learn stop the flush because they never got a bird shot that was out of range. He does do, I would say, you could almost say he does not do any advanced training. But he also lives in open country.
In a trout pond.
Like, how good of a fisherman do you have to be to catch a fish in a trout pond? You need a kernel of corn on a number 6 hook.
So what if you drop those dogs here and ask them to go?
That's where you've got to have that control, that obedience, that steering wheel and the blinkers and the brakes.
Mm-hmm.
So to that guy's question, yes, birds aren't going to teach a dog anything when it comes to obedience.
No, it makes them crazy.
It makes them crazy. Now here's one. This one could get crazy because this one actually had a little more detail. This guy owns a 3-year-old Brittany male, which if we go to our earlier conversations, by 1 or 2 years old, you should know what you have. But at 3 years old, this Brittany male, he calls it a natural retriever, so I'm assuming he did not force break the dog. And there's a lot of natural retrievers. I've had them. You know, in a wild bird situation, they'll bring that bird right to hand. And I don't know why they do it. It's in their genetics, right? He says, but the dog is possessive at times and has stolen birds from other dogs. And he's afraid that this might lead to a dog fight and how to curb it without affecting his natural retrieve. So, Trent, if you were hunting with a guy that had a 3-year-old, in this case, a Brittany, and you're bullshitting with him and he says, yeah, he's a natural retriever, and all of a sudden this dog is stealing birds out of your dog's mouth, do you think he should, I guess he's looking for a little advice.
Yeah.
What would you do with a dog that's doing that?
At 3 years old.
Now, again, I want to tell everybody, we are not dog trainers.
No.
We don't have a shingle out. None of us train other people's dogs.
We just train our
but we
own.
hunt with other people's dogs.
I mean, at 3, you might have or should have seen it maybe a little bit earlier and been able to do something a little bit sooner.
Right.
But at that point, is it e-collar conditioned? You know, can you make it, if it starts going towards a dog that's going to go steal a bird, can you confidently turn it away, you know, with a little bit of pressure? But then that all has to be done correctly. You know, you're not just going to slap the collar on it and start burning it if it's going towards the dog. So you have to introduce the e-collar.
But then you don't want to wait till he's actually trying to take the bird out of the other dog's mouth.
You got to be proactive about it.
And that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had
to be honest, that might be only one dog hunting dog. Like, you know, I don't know how you.
Part of his question is, if you tried to curb it, it sounds like he's afraid that it would affect his natural retrieve.
Well, if it's going to steal a bird out of another dog's mouth, that's not retrieving birds. That's stealing.
Okay. Shoplifting is compared to shopping.
Yeah. So I see where you're getting.
Right.
You're not going to hurt his natural retrieve if you try to stop him stealing other birds out of dogs' mouths. You're not going to hurt his natural retrieve at all.
Two different behaviors.
Yeah. One's stealing and one's being possessive and dominant maybe over another dog, and then the other natural retrieve is he's going to do that no matter what. Yeah. Because he doesn't. When you're going to correct it, he doesn't have a bird in his mouth. Right, when he's going to steal it.
Right.
So you're correcting something where he doesn't even have the bird in his mouth, and it's a dog that has it in its mouth. It's not laying on the ground. Yeah.
It's something you could do certainly in a training situation.
Yeah, you could work on that for sure. You're not going to hurt.
Ted, you're in a retriever world, like the name.
I have a dog that does that.
Okay.
Perfect.
So
my female will drown my male, and she's just the queen of the roost, so I don't hunt her with Toby anymore. I don't think it has any. I mean, I might be able to e-collar her out of it, but I just don't hunt her. She would, and I've seen her do it with other dogs when there's only one bird. So, and she's not a pointing dog, so she doesn't get sent on a bird. The only time I've seen her switch up birds is multiple birds get shot in like a pond or a field with other dogs, and she'll be faster than the other ones and bring it to me and then go grab the other one when they're coming up to shore.
Hasn't led to a dog fight at this point.
No. And I mean, for a golden retriever, she's the type of dog, like I tell her to go lay under my truck, she will. Another dog approaches, she kind of tells them, go away.
Go away.
You know,
She's
like-
got a little owly. She's a little
Yeah,
owly.
like she,
Yeah.
and then like my male, he would roll over on his back and be like, I just love you. You know? So I don't know. I haven't tried to correct it because I don't need to. I don't know how to correct that, but I'm sure there is a way to do it. But I don't think.
It's almost like, is the reward worth the work too?
Yeah.
You know, you can manage that. Scott, have you ever had that come up with a bird stealing dog?
No, but I mean,
All right, short
But-
segment. Good talk, Scott.
He's like,
Good talk.
I'd give it away if it does.
Oh, hell yeah. You wouldn't have that dog.
No, I know that in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I would do like you said. I would try to set the dog up and correct it before the dog got there, if they were trying to correct that issue.
That's, yeah. But his question is like, am I going to hurt his natural
No.
retriever?
No, you're not.
Right.
You
Yeah,
can
his
give it a
question
shot. You can try it.
is right. It's not going to change the
No.
retrieving instinct
No.
of the
No.
dog.
If a dog likes it that much, it's just like on a no bird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
the
you
same.
switch to a blind and they want to go over there. You can e-collar, whatever, prong
Right.
collar, whatever you want on that bird. They're like, I just want to go get
Yeah.
something. And it's like directing them where to
Yeah.
go.
So we would collectively say this guy could work on this, and it's not going to curb his
You can give
dog's
it a shot.
retrieving instinct. That's
No.
where the
Yeah.
question came from.
Please hit like and subscribe.
Can you say it?
Please like and subscribe.
What they're trying to say is, please hit the like and subscribe button so I can take them on a ride. Is that good? All right. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, we're going. We're boys. We're going. We're boys.